So, you've decided to sell your home. It's a huge decision, right? And the first thing you do is hire a real estate agent because, well, they're the experts. But have you ever stopped to think about what they really know? What's going on behind the scenes? There is a whole world of strategy, a ton of psychology, and frankly, a bunch of industry secrets that happen just behind the curtain. And today, we're pulling that curtain back. We are going to dive deep into the real estate agent's playbook. Before we jump in, though, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hey, check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market or you need life insurance. My team and I can help you out anywhere nationwide. This is the big question, isn't it? What is that secret knowledge that separates a great sale from a disaster? We're going to get right into it. Using insights from agents who've been in the trenches for decades, we're diving into that insider playbook. We're going to reveal the strategies that can literally make or break your sale. We'll cover everything from the psychological games around pricing, the myths about marketing, to the real, and I mean real, purpose of an open house. So, let's kick things off by getting inside the agent's head. All right, first up, inside the agent's playbook. To win the game, you've got to understand how the best players think. See, it's not just about putting a sign in the yard and waiting for offers. It's about positioning, it's about timing, and believe it or not, it's about something as simple as good old-fashioned organization. Okay, listen to this. You want to be the second marriage, and you want to be the third agent. I know, it sounds a little strange at first, doesn't it? But this one little industry saying reveals a massive truth about the entire home selling journey. If you can understand what this quote means, you'll understand exactly where an agent has the most power, the most leverage to actually succeed. So let's break it down. This right here, this is the cycle. It happens over and over again. The first agent comes in, and to get to your business, to win that listing, they tell you exactly what you want to hear, a huge inflated price. Of course, the house just sits there. It doesn't sell. And who do you blame? The agent, of course. So you fire them. Then the second agent comes in. They're a little more realistic. They manage to get the price down a little bit, but you, the seller, are still stuck on that first high number. You're still hesitant. Finally, by the time the third agent shows up, you're exhausted, you're frustrated, you're realistic. You are finally ready to listen to sound advice and price the house correctly. And guess what? That's the agent who gets the deal done. The big secret here is you can skip all that drama. You can skip the first two agents entirely by just thinking like that third agent from day one. Let's talk about something we can all relate to, that sinking feeling in your stomach. You send an important question, maybe a document, or heaven forbid, an actual offer, and you just hear crickets, radio silence. You start wondering, is it me? Did I say something wrong, or is there something else going on here? Well, here's the secret. 9 times out of 10, it's not personal, it's procedural. The hard truth is that a huge number of agents out there are just disorganized. Their inbox is an absolute disaster zone. They don't have systems in place to handle the constant flood of emails, calls, and texts. On the other hand, you have the organized agent. They use systems, they have processes. A lot of times, they'll even have a support team, like a transaction coordinator, whose entire job is to keep things on track. They provide clear, consistent communication because they're built for it. This is why it is so important when you're interviewing agents to ask about their process. An organized agent doesn't let things fall through the cracks, and in a real estate deal, one missed email can literally cost you thousands of dollars. Okay, let's shift gears. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, the money and the marketing. This next section is all about tackling some of the biggest myths and misconceptions in the entire industry. You know, the ones that can so easily lead sellers down the wrong path. You've seen it. An agent comes to your house with these beautiful, glossy brochures. They promise full-page ads in luxury magazines and a massive online ad spend on social media. It all feels really impressive, right? And you're sitting there thinking, wow, this is it. This is what I need to get top dollar for my home. But does all that marketing glitz and glamour actually sell your house? Here's the blunt, honest-to-goodness truth. For the most part, that expensive marketing is designed to do one thing: build the agent's brand. It's not really about finding your buyer. And you might be asking, why? Well, think about it. The serious buyers, the people who are actually going to write an offer, are already in the market. They're already working with their own agents, they've got search alerts set up on all the major websites, and they are constantly scanning the multiple listing service, the MLS. By the time a fancy print ad comes out, your home is already old news to them. The marketing that really matters is having amazing professional photos, a smart, strategic price, and an agent who has strong relationships with other agents. That's the whole ballgame. This brings us to a really dangerous tactic, and you need to be aware of this. It's called buying the listing. Imagine this scenario. You interview 3 agents. The first 2 walk through your home and suggest a list price of around, say, $750,000. Then the 3rd agent comes in and they say, no, we can get $825,000. It's just human nature to get excited and gravitate toward that highest number. But here's the trap. Very often, that agent knows deep down that the price is completely unrealistic. They're telling you a fantasy just to get you to sign the contract. They're buying your listing with a false promise, knowing full well they'll have to come back in a few weeks and pressure you into price reductions after your home has gone stale on the market. It's a game, and you don't want to play it. Just a quick pause here. If you're finding this information valuable, it would mean a lot if you'd hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe for more content just like this. And don't forget, if you're looking for a top-notch real estate agent or need to get your life insurance sorted, check out the links in the description below. My team and I are here to help no matter where you are in the country. All right, let's get back to it. Now, speaking of price, this table shows something so simple yet so powerful that it can literally make your listing invisible to half your potential buyers. Look at this. Buyers don't go online and search for a home that costs $509,000. That's not how people work. They search in brackets, right? They search up to $500,000 or maybe $500,000 to $600,000. Now, if you list your home at $509,000, you have just completely eliminated every single buyer whose search maxes out at that $500K mark. They will never even see your home. But look what happens if you price it right at the $500,000 mark. Now you show up in both searches. You capture all the buyers looking up to that price, and you capture all the buyers starting their search at that price. This one tiny detail, this one strategic decision can literally double your visibility overnight. It is absolutely crucial. All right, let's move on and talk about one of the most iconic parts of selling a home. It's been around forever, and it's also one of the most debated topics, the open house. Is it really a critical selling tool for you, the homeowner, or is it maybe something else entirely? Okay, here's the big secret about the open house. It serves 2 masters. For your agent, let's be crystal clear, an open house is one of the single best ways to generate new clients for their business. It's a goldmine. They get to meet potential buyers walking in off the street who don't have an agent yet. They get to meet all your neighbors who might be thinking about selling their own home soon. For you, the seller, however, its value is, well, it's a lot more situational. It is definitely not the magic bullet that so many people think it is. So because it's not a magic bullet, you have to be strategic about it. When does holding an open house make sense? Well, if you've been on the market for a bit and the private scheduled showings have been slow, an open house can be a great way to drum up some new interest and activity. Absolutely. And if you're in a scorching hot market and you know the house is priced to sell and will probably be gone by Monday, then sure, an open house can create a frenzy. But here's the key. Many top agents will advise you against holding one on the very first weekend. Why? It's because they want to see how many serious buyers, the ones who are already working with agents, actually take the time to schedule a formal tour. That data, that feedback from serious buyers is pure gold for figuring out if your price is right. So don't just make it an automatic weekend ritual. Use it as a strategic tool. All right, for our final section here, we've got a little bonus. This is for anyone out there who's thinking about going it alone, about taking the DIY path and selling their home themselves. We're talking about for sale by owner, or FSBO. If you're thinking about going this route, there are 2 massive, critical pitfalls you absolutely need to know about right from the very start. Okay, listen up because this is important. First is what I call the MLS trap. It is so tempting to pay a few $100 to a flat fee service just to get your home blasted out onto the main real estate database, the MLS, right away. My advice? Don't do it. Not yet. If your photos aren't professional, or if your price is even a little bit off, you have just made a terrible first impression on every single agent and every serious buyer in your market. And worse, that dreaded days on market counter has officially started ticking against you. The smarter move is to start with just a yard sign first. Test the waters. Second, get ready for your phone to ring off the hook. A ton of agents are going to call you saying the magic words, "I have a buyer for your home." Now, while some of them might be telling the truth, it's very often just a script they use to get a foot in the door. You have to push back. Ask them direct questions. Great. How long have you been working with this buyer? Have they written any other offers? Are they pre-approved? Their answers, or their lack of answers, will tell you everything you need to know. So let's bring it all home. Let's recap the essential tools that we've just uncovered for your seller's toolkit. Number 1, be the third seller. Price your home correctly and realistically from day 1 to avoid that painful cycle. 2, when you're hiring an agent, vet for organization, not just a flashy personality. Ask about their systems, their processes, their team. 3, question those big ad spends. Remember that the real marketing comes down to price, professional photos, and agent-to-agent relationships. 4. Be surgically precise with your pricing. Price at the major search thresholds, like $500,000, not just above or below them. And finally, use open houses as a strategic tool, not as an automatic weekend ritual. By understanding the agent's playbook, you're not just a homeowner anymore. You are now an informed seller, and you are in the driver's seat. You know the strategies, you know the myths, and you know the real motivations that are at play in any real estate transaction. So the only question left is, now that you're armed with this knowledge, what moves are you going to make? Thanks for watching, and one last time, if you need a great real estate agent or help with life insurance, my team and I can help you anywhere in the U.S. The links are right down there in the description. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.